It's Victoria. Today we're here to talk about the voices in your head, specifically the critical voice, learning to be aware of it, and then a specific technique to help you adjust it for deeper self-mastery. So, as a reminder, we all have an inner dialogue, the way we talk to ourselves. What most people forget or almost never knew was that this internal dialogue is not only making powerful suggestions in your unconscious and conscious mind all day long, but you can also control and shift this dialogue. And today we're going to work on that. Recognizing our thoughts and dialogue, which is self-awareness, and then an easy technique to begin to control and adjust those thoughts, which is moving into self-mastery. First of all, why do we do this? Because, like it or not, the results you're getting in your life have everything to do with that voice keeps telling you. It's incredibly powerful. Imagine you had someone living in your home who constantly pointed out everything that was wrong and with your life and what you were doing, and did it in a really annoying tone of voice and woke you up in the middle of the night even to tell you these things. How would that affect you? What if it was a super positive person, constantly telling you what you can do, that you're awesome, that it'll work out? How would that affect you? Well, you're always living with yourself, and the good news is our mind is one place where we have complete control. So what we're going to learn is how to shift that voice to make sure you're hanging out with your own best friend and not your own worst enemy. So let's get started. So I want you to remember a time when you made a mistake and recall how you spoke to yourself. If it's helpful, go ahead and close your eyes. What I want you to do is now focus on how you're speaking to yourself. And first, the voice in terms of what it's saying to you. Do you say, oh, great, another learning experience? Or is it something more like, you're so dumb, no one likes you, you're the worst, why is this so hard for me? I'm never going to get it. So pay attention to what that voice is saying. Now I want you to pay attention to the tone of the voice. What does it sound like? Is it snarky? Is it angry? Is it sarcastic? Is it male, female, computer-like? Maybe even the voice of somebody from your childhood. And lastly, try to get a sense, especially if your eyes closed, it can be helpful, of where this voice is coming from. Is it coming from inside your head, outside? Is it in the front, the back, or the side? Do you feel like it's on your right or left side? Sort of where in space do you feel like this voice lives? Okay, so now that we have those three things, what it's saying, how it's saying it, and where it's saying it, we can start to shift and pivot and move into self-mastery, which is changing and taking control of that voice. So the first thing I want you to do is work on location. So this is going to feel a little silly, but it's super helpful. So I want you to stick your arm out and put your arm as far away from your body as possible. And imagine that that voice, wherever it was coming from, actually moves out and down to the end of your thumb. That's moving that voice from sort of this power position, sort of almost in your body or directly in your mind, to something outside of yourself, right? And then you can control how far away it is. But right now, let's stick it at the end of your thumb. Okay? Now, I want you to change the voice of and the tone by which that is speaking to you and give it less power. So if you had a voice that was snarky, sarcastic, all of the things, and probably found it a little bit powerful, you were giving it a lot of effort, change it to something else. So two examples I like to use is either make it a Mickey Mouse voice, so it's high and squeaky, and sort of, you're so dumb, why did you do it that way? Which makes your mind go, that's just silly. Or an Eeyore voice, where it's more, oh no, I'll never get it. It's doing it again. This is so awful. Giving it those voices that are less empowered and moving it away from your body is going to have an immediate effect on the power of those thoughts that are not helpful to you. And then the second part of this exercise that is super important is, now that you've moved and placed this voice somewhere else, is actually replacing with something that you want. And this is moving into that self-mastery space. So we're going to go back and do what we did before. So the first thing is, I want you to think about what you want this voice to be saying. So if you did the fundamental beliefs exercise, this is where you can plug some of those in as you're moving to more empowering beliefs, or whatever copped up. So if you were saying things like, I never get it right, then you want this new voice to say something along the lines of, I'm working on it, I'm getting where I need to go, I'm practicing, I'm trying, I'm doing my best, and my best is good enough. And so those are actually the language of that voice. Then we're going to work on tone. How is this voice saying this to you? When I think of tone, I want you to think of either a person that's real or imagined that you would love having in your home all the time. When we talked about that a little bit earlier, if you could implant, Tony Robbins or Peter Crone into your house all the time, how would they speak to you? What would they say? What's that tone of voice? So whether it's, again, real or imagined, or even yourself, when you're the most confident version of yourself, when you're being like a really strong parent to yourself or your children or other people's children, what does that voice sound like? Or to a coworker? Now imagine that voice in your head now saying these more confident items that are really helpful to you. And the third and last thing is that placement in our head. So again, if it's helpful, close your eyes and imagine where that first voice came from, inside or outside of your head, right side, left side. I want you to replace that old, not helpful, critical voice with this new, confident, helpful voice and put it in the same location. So now we're going to put it all together. So if you can, walk with me. So the way this exercise is going to work is, if it's helpful, close your eyes and imagine a time in the past where you had something that happened and you were critical with yourself. You made a mistake. Think about where that voice, when it starts to come, put it all the way at the end of your thumb. End of your thumb, and then switch the voice to make it less empowered, whether it's Mickey Mouse or Eeyore or somebody's little sister around the corner, something that's less empowering and doesn't give it that strength. Then wherever that voice was coming from in your head originally, replace it. Replace it with that voice that you want in your head, the coach that you want to be for yourself or that you wish you had in your life. And imagine what they would be saying to you and put that voice in there. If you practice this 1 or 2 times a day on purpose, what'll start to happen is that when you find yourself in situations, you're training your mind on what you want it to do when that critical voice comes. So that way, during the day or when an event happens, your mind will switch and say, "Oh, I know what I need to do in this circumstance," and start moving away from that old critical voice to that new helpful voice. And that's how you change your life and how do you change your mind, one step at a time. Good luck. It's Victoria. Today we're here to talk about the voices in your head, specifically the critical voice, learning to be aware of it, and then a specific technique to help you adjust it for